got my seal, so we're gonna pop it in place and then pump some fluid in those. And see if we have a leak. So I froze the seal for a couple of hours, and I heated up the housing for the seal, and I wasn't able to drive it with that small hammer there. I was trying to be gentle with it, but as you can see, I kind of bended a bit the edge of the seal. So I think what I'm gonna do is the housing for the drive shaft fits very good on the cup there. So I think I'm just gonna put the seal in position, try lining up as best as I can, and then I'm gonna put the housing back on it, and that little bell there is gonna sit on the seal, and as I drive it in with the impact driver, drive the seal in, I'm gonna still eat up the side of the housing to give it a chance there, but yeah, I think that's how I'm gonna proceed here. Hopefully that will work. And then to make sure we have a good seal around the shaft, I'm gonna put a little bit of gasket maker, high pressure gasket maker around this spline here to make sure we have a good seal. Actually, I'm gonna probably put it in there, so it'll be easier to apply around the spline, and we should get a good seal. So let's try that. Like this. And that worked. So both the Dana's 35 and 30 have oil in them. The engine has oil. The AX15 has oil, and then the power steering has oil. Now I'm gonna wait 24 hours for the transfer case because I put RTV on the spline, on the output shaft spline, and then recommendations for the manufacturer is to wait 24 hours. So I'm gonna do that. So tomorrow I'm gonna put the oil into the transfer case, be able to check my transmission is still leaking, and yeah, I'm gonna need to wait until I figure if my leak comes to transfer case for tomorrow. Also, I was able to reuse the hydraulic line from the stock TJ. I just heated up the tubing and bended it straight. So I was able to reach the pump and now have a nice fitting back to the steering. The return line, I ran out of proper lines. I put like this transparent plastic line. I don't think it matters too much for the return line. I'm sure the fluid's getting pretty hot, so this is a temporary fix. Once I go out in the store, I'll get like a real line and put it back in there. Seem to have a little bit of a clearance issue here, and I seem to have like huge turbo interference with this part of the frame. So what I'm gonna do, I think, is I'm gonna remove all the accessories on the turbo, at least those pipes, and I'm gonna see how much how it fits. The other issue might be that my engine is like too much angled rearward, and maybe I need to angle it back a bit forward so I can put a jack under and maybe either extend the mount that there. I have a little bit of play because those bolts are super long, or cut the frame at the base and shorten the engine mount to try to lower the engine. But a little surprise here that I don't have the clearance. I would have thought it would fit better, obviously. So lots of figuring out, but huge step today to put the body on. There was a lot of working around and trying to figure out how to manhandling this thing on top of the frame by my own. But I did a few scratches on the bottom of the tub, but nothing I can fix later. So mixed feeling right now, super happy, but a little worried about the fitting. So I took the turbo accessories out and I have a little bit more clearance, so I'm gonna try to lower the body down a bit again, see where I can get. So the tub is right up against the engine. I don't think that's the proper position, but I'm very close to the mounts. The hole's right there. Just line up with the mount right there. But it's still jacked up on the back because there's a lip on the body that's hooking up on the bumper. So I'm gonna reposition right now the crane is loose. sitting on the frame. So I'm going to reposition the anchors to the seat holes on the front, and then like this I'll get like I'll move the center of gravity a little bit forward, and hopefully I can pick up the front and like slide the back and then lower the front. So we'll try that. So I got the back clip in, so it's at the proper distance from the engine, but man, it is tight. I don't have any clearance there. Turbo is like sitting like right next to the firewall. So the only thing I can do is lower the engine. So I'm going to need to do some modification to the mount. I think just increasing the length of the bolt of the shim under the bolts here won't be enough. So I'm going to need to take the engine mount out and actually chop it a good chunk off, and then lower the engine, trying to get some clearance from the firewall by angling the engine down a bit. Hopefully that'll be enough. So I positioned the tub where I want it to move the engine. Surprisingly, the plate gave us like 2 inches or 1.5 inch. Actually, this looked like, yeah, I think it's between 1.5 and 2 inches boost to the front to move the engine forward, but obviously it's not enough. I brazed the tub so I can recover the crane and then crane the engine and then move the engine around. So the plan is to move the engine, I think, 3 inches forward. I think that's going to be the best layout for this. So I need to move the transmission. Transmission is bolted on the skid plate. Initially I wanted to just re-drill the skid plate, but I think I'm going to cross member, place the transmission exactly where I want it, like 3 inches forward, and it's going to move the whole assembly forward. Obviously I'm going to need to get like custom drive shafts in the back and in the front. In the front, apparently there's someone in town who actually cut them and custom them. This one, the angle is a little it's very much not optimal, so I might get like a brand new drive shaft for this guy, so I have like a better angle. I didn't order the adjustable upper links for the rear axle, so I have no adjustment on the angle of the axle for now. So with the lift kit, everything gets a little tighter as well, so I think that might not be helping so much, but I think the fact that having the CGAA engine and having the turbo in that configuration make the swap a little trickier. I was talking to people and they were telling me that lots of people they massage the tub to make things fit. I'm not sure if that was for CGAA engines. I don't think just massaging the tub will be enough, and anyway I don't want to damage that tub. My tub is in very good condition, so I don't want to mud it. So thing to consider when you have a lift is well, your springs bolt on the axle and then have a 2.5 inches there, which pushes the links downward. So the length being the same, then the whole assembly just pivot downward but also backward. So the axle moves like rotate in this direction along that radius here. So move that direction and then push the wheels a little bit more backward, hence pushing the axle backward as well. So it tightens up all your setup toward the back. So I did order adjustable links for the front so I can push everything back to forward, so that's gonna help. And then it's gonna keep everything like a little looser under there instead of tightening everything in with the lift. So that's where I'm at. Also, that mount, it's going to need to be scrapped, because if I move 3 inches on this side, I have plenty of space, but on this side, the way I build in my mounts, like the engine's going to interfere with the mount. So I'm going to need to grind or cut the welds on this mount, and then I think I'm just going to do the side mounts, will be easier. So I'm going to use these bolts right there to a second here, if I can get a proper focus. Sorry for the light, but yeah, so I have bolts there, so I'm going to do a side mounts on the sides on both sides actually, and I'm going to get rid of this. Yeah, moving everything forward, it's going to change the configuration of the mounts for sure. I could have got away with 1 inch maybe, but 3 inches is that's not optimal. So other thing is, because I had a clearance issue on this side because of the steering pump, I kind of moved the engine like as much as I could on this side, which impeded the clearance on this side for the turbo. So what I'm gonna do is when I resituate the mounts on this the engine mounts, I'm gonna try to move the engine back a little bit to the right, which is gonna give me like a little bit better clearance on this side. So a lot of work ahead, but just keep chugging at it. We'll get things done.